I think nanotechnology has actually created this grand challenge. I started by saying that everything is new and miniaturized. Every bulk material, regardless of what it is, when you shrink it down, is different. That's empowering, right? Because it opens up this ability to begin to study structure-function relationships in unusual ways. But from a chemistry and material science way, it creates an incredible challenge, because if you think of the periodic table, we have roughly 100 plus elements. 90 of them are useful, not radioactive in terms of conventional type syntheses. You think of all the combinations and the importance of that, that leads to all the things that we make and characterize in the lab all the time. If you think historically, right, from a civilization standpoint, we've, over the years, had entire ages based upon the discovery of new materials. Stone Age, the Bronze Age, living through the Silicon Age right now. We've looked at such a tiny number of the possibilities. First, when you take into account the combinations of elements, but then when you take into account that everything, when combined in a certain way and scaled from 1 to 100 nanometers, is different from one another, we've looked at less than 0.1%. And that alone is a grand challenge, a little bit like what we've experienced in the biological realm. An enormous number of possibilities, and although I think we're all proud of all the things that we've developed based upon materials discovery over the last couple of centuries, if we could dramatically accelerate the pace of discovery and identify the winners from the losers, the structures that really make a difference, that would completely transition what we call modern civilization. It would create the next set of ages. And so I think that alone is one grand challenge. How do we actually do that? How do we process the data, figure out how to make the structures, and then ultimately use them? On the medical side of things, I'm a big believer in terms of the development of nanomedicines. I really think that we're going to see new medicines that really allow us to fight disease in not just other ways, but better ways. And if you think of the pharmaceutical industry, we've gone through two major waves of pharmaceutical development. Everybody knows small molecules have been important. Chemistry played a big role, aspirin, statins. We are living through the biologics age, right, where 8 of the top 10 drugs are biologics. They're based upon peptides and proteins. Many people believe that the next age will involve nucleic acids, short snippets of DNA and RNA as medicines. That's possible because we've gone through the hard work of learning how to make these structures. We know a lot about pathways based upon the Human Genome Project and all the sequencing that's gone on. But we have to figure out ways of getting those structures to the tissues and cells that matter. And that's where being able to take these types of architectures and restructure them and design them so that they can travel through the body and go to specific locations so that you get very targeted effects is going to play a very big role. And I think what we're going to see over the next couple of decades are a whole series of shot on goals that are going to lead to the establishment of a whole new field of therapeutic development based upon nucleic acids. And much of it's going to be enabled because of advances in the development of nanomaterials that allow you to do that.